everybody, and welcome to Home for the Holidays, coming to you tonight from the beautiful Park Hyatt in Toronto. I'm Susan Hay. This past month, I had the pleasure of visiting the homes of some well-known Canadians. And tonight, you'll learn about the professional and personal lives of Chef Mark McEwan, the popular interior design duo Colin and Justin, and the co-founders of the Pinball Clemens Foundation, Michael and Diane Clemons. But first, we travel to Thornbury, Ontario, to visit the home of a Canadian culinary legend. On the beautiful shores of Georgian Bay is where Chef Mark McEwan finds balance and peace. From opening his first restaurant, North 44, in 1990, to becoming the CEO of McEwan Group, it's here in his lake house kitchen where he has time to relax and reflect on his amazing culinary career. Is it true you started off as a dishwasher in Buffalo?
It was at Mindy's Wine Cellar. Yeah, the Gleason family owned that restaurant. I was 16. As every kid, I had a beat-up Mustang, which I needed to fill with fuel all the time, so I needed a job.
He moved to Toronto in 1975 with his family, finished high school, and decided he wanted to get into the hotel business.
The Constellation Hotel took me as an apprentice, but I loved it, and I flourished in it.
He graduated from George Brown College, the Center for Hospitality and Culinary Arts, then spent a little time in Europe, finishing his apprenticeship, then came back and accepted a position as manager at the Constellation Hotel. But it was in 1981, at the age of 25, that he would get his first big break. So your first real big position was executive chef with the Sutton Place. What did that position mean to you?
I just explored the food side of things. I got very heavy into modern cuisine and trying to push the envelope, and it worked out really, really well, and I was there for 3 years.
He was the youngest chef in Canada to hold this position and had the great honor to cook for many.
We had every celebrity coming through the city, from Dick Van Dyke to Mary Tyler Moore, you name it. I cooked for the Pope for 5 days in the Cardinal's residence. All the big musicians would come through, and they would sit in the kitchen, and I would prepare a menu for them.
It wasn't unusual for Mark to begin his day at 7 a.m. and still be working at midnight.
That's how crazy it was, but what an amazing start and boost to my career.
He revolutionized Toronto's culinary scene with restaurants like One, North 44, By Mark, and Fabrica, just to name a few. He also launched McEwan Catering and McEwan grocery stores.
Don't have a favorite. I love them all. They're all important. They're all different aspects of the business. I guess North 44, if you look back historically, that's a 30-year restaurant. Hard to believe it's gone sometimes, which was kind of sad because that's where it all started.
Today, Mark has 5 restaurants, 2 retail stores, and 2 large catering operations. All survived the pandemic.
It's amazing how it changed the world. But other than that, the restaurant business has just been fantastic.
Chefs, you have 2.5 minutes left.
You went into the TV side of things many years ago.
I did.
What is it like to be the judge on Top Chef Canada?
Top Chef Canada has been amazing. Here we are 12 years later and we're still rolling, right? You know, prior to that we had the heat.
The main concern is that everyone understands exactly the one move that they have to make and how they fit into the puzzle.
That showed me opening up one restaurant. It showed me doing weddings for 500 in the country under a tent with satellite kitchen, and it was all real time.
What do you think your recipe for success has been?
Hard work, really hard work. I spent 25 years as a chef with my head down, working 18 hours a day, 6 days a week, and the world goes by. And when you're the chef and owner, you also have all the financial connection, the worry, the stress.
How have you managed to keep that balance between your beautiful family and your successful career?
You have to marry correctly. I came home every night at 10:30, 11 o'clock. I didn't go out. I didn't do a lot of the negative side of the restaurant business where you go out and party after. We lived very wholesomely with the kids. No drinking, no drugs, none of that stuff, none of that drama. And that's what it takes to kind of stay square in the business, I think.
Did you ever think you'd go from making $1.60 as a dishwasher to where you are today?
You climb a ladder one rung at a time, right?
Today, Mark enjoys mentoring up-and-coming chefs in his kitchens. But what he loves to do is relax in his own. And I'm about to find out one of his favorite holiday dishes.
Classic puttanesca. I've taken really nice ripe tomatoes, blanched them, peeled them. I have a little bit of tomato sauce, really great pitted black olives, garlic, capers, onion, anchovy. And that's the base of the sauce. Now that we have our ingredients, let's assemble the base puttanesca sauce. So olive oil, good healthy amount. We're going to saute our onions. I always start salting and peppering right from the beginning. It shouldn't be a garlic fest on this dish. It should just be a nice level of garlic. I like to make sure that the peel is off the tomato. Just makes a more elegant sauce. Just going to up the temperature a little bit because I want to do a deglaze of wine. So I want there to be good heat in the pan. For the wine, I'm going to use a Pinot Grigio, so nothing complicated.
Says Mark McEwan, Top Chef Canada.
This is a super easy sauce. But this dish, I have more people that come to our parties and I'll do a rendition of this dish and they go crazy for it. I'm going to add in a little bit of tomato base. I'm just going to eyeball it.
You are the guy who cooks in the kitchen. What about your wife, or does she stay away?
She has her dishes, you know, her wheelhouse is a bit smaller. So we're just going to let that sit now. And then we'll hit it with our citrus and our basil, and our sauce is done. So I went out and purposely bought frozen scallops. I left them in the fridge on a plate overnight to thaw slowly. We're just going to drop some olive oil into there. Lightly salt the scallops. Little knob of butter into the puttanesca base.
Are we ready? This looks and smells so good.
Susan, we are done. Ready to go to plating.
Still to come, Colin and Justin give us some simple design tips as we get set to ring in 2025. Welcome back. For 40 years, design duo Colin McAllister and Justin Ryan have been partners in life and in business. Born and raised in Scotland, they now call Toronto their home. And a few weeks ago, I had the chance to visit them for a little New Year's Eve design inspiration. Does this CN Tower that you so clearly see right into your living space, does it remind you of why you wanted to come to Toronto?
Absolutely. You know, I think you can look around this room and you say, you know, what is your most successful accessory in this room? And it is the CN Tower.
Born and raised in Scotland, Colin McAllister and Justin Ryan met in their teens and they never looked back.
It was the 28th of April and the year was 1984. Colin and I...
85?
It was 84, Colin.
It was 85?
Yeah, it was 80. So the year was 1985 and against all my better judgment, when I had exams at university, I was persuaded to go to a nightclub by a friend of mine called Laura.
The two started chatting and...
40 years later, we're still chatting.
Today they're known as the popular Scottish design duo, traveling the world renovating private homes and advising people on the latest trends. Many years ago, they branched out into the world of television, hosting a number of highly successful design-related shows, like Colin and Justin's Home Heist, streamed worldwide.
Let's get out there and meet real Canadians in real home situations, and let's all learn and all go on a little journey.
How many TV shows, how many books, and now a hotel?
Can you believe it? You know, so we have North Star, 20-bedroom hotel. We're right on a beautiful cliff, a place called Louisbourg, at the southern point of Cape Breton. And it's incredible.
We've probably done somewhere in the region of 25 different TV series. We have a product line that's available internationally, Britain, Canada, Australia, mainland Europe. We are onto our 4th book at the moment called Escapology, and it's been a bestseller.
When did loving our homes really come into play?
It's an amazing thing that people now look at their homes as being places of passion and not just about, let's renovate this home for someone else so we can make some money.
4 or 5 years ago, people were suddenly told that they couldn't go out, they couldn't do any of the things, they couldn't travel, and they started to nest ever more than previously. And we watched that and we saw our clients start to dream of creating the most perfect environment.
And when it comes to what consumers want,
We're consumers. You know, we are the same as everyone else. And I think that was something we've always held on to. We've never forgotten where we came from. We want to keep it real.
We've worked really hard for our money, and we want our money to work really hard for us. And I don't want to be wasteful.
It's not about something being super expensive and brought in from Italy.
How do you find the balance in such busy lives?
Balance for us in our lives is absolutely critical. If we don't enjoy it, we immediately close the door and we move on to the next part of our life.
Just do not think of life and work as being separate. And putting them together doesn't mean you have to be a workaholic.
Do you have 3 favorite things in this home of yours that you couldn't live without or that mean so much to you?
You see there's books everywhere. I couldn't live without books. Like, I love design books and I love the physicality of a book.
My mum was a music teacher, and when she downsized long before she passed away, she gave us that piano. Also, that sideboard sat in the family home that I grew up in. I remember what mum put in each of the drawers. And then that little television over there, that touch of the buttons as you turn them, the little dials and the knobs, it all feels so familiar. And I'm home, because home's where the heart is.
So what are the 3 things that you see when you go to someone's house or that we do that we shouldn't when decorating a
Okay,
table?
well, when we go to dinner parties, oftentimes there'll be 10 or 12 or 14 people crammed around a table. I want everybody to have a really good time and for the space to breathe properly.
Give your diners their own space. You know,
Yes.
the placemat is your best friend.
Boundaries.
It delineates space, creates a boundary, and it makes every single diner feel that they have their own personal zone.
I want to make my table extra special. That's my thing. I like to take the time and really prep the table.
Okay,
What do you
okay.
think? How can I make it like a Colin and Justin table?
Well, first thing you got to do is make sure that you don't have an overpowering centerpiece, because if you have, then your guests across the table can't see each other, Susan. So I want to have eye-line contact. I want to be in somebody's face.
You know, I think get-togethers are all about creating a personal experience, and we ask all of our guests to recommend a piece of music. Maybe their favorite artist for 2025. We'll make a playlist, and then everyone's sitting at the table hears their favorite song. They start talking with each other, they start sharing, and that's what it's all about.
And speaking of music, your mom
Yeah.
gave you this baby grand.
did.
Do you play?
Well, do you know what, Susan? Mum was a fantastic pianist. I guess it's the holiday season, so maybe a bit of Auld Lang Syne.
That was beautiful.
Happy New Year.
New Year. Thank you so much
Happy New Year, Susan.
allowing us in your home.
You're so welcome. Where's the whiskey?
Well, it's over there in our collection.
over there.
It's time, I think, for one last go with one
Oh,
of these. Come
okay,
on.
okay.
Happy New Year.
Coming up, the Clemens welcome me into their home for the holidays. Stay with us. For me, the holidays just wouldn't be complete without a visit to the Clemens family home. For Diane, Michael, and their beautiful family, this is their favorite time of year. So sit back, relax, and get ready to feel the spirit of the holiday season.
Good morning, babes.
Good morning, sweetie.
Michael and Diane Clemens grew up in Florida in the same neighborhood, yet they never met until their late teens.
We met through a mutual friend.
But it all changed one weekend in the summer of '84. The big football jamboree was on, and Diane and her friend were going, but they needed directions to the event.
We go knocking on his door. He answers the door, Susan, with no shirt. And I'm like, really? Right?
So now the honest part is I'm standing behind the door because I realized who it was.
And that's how it all started for this beautiful couple.
I'm making my famous chai tea. You want some?
Oh, you know I do.
Together now for 4 decades. Today, I get to spend
Happy holidays, Susan!
Hey, come on in!
a little time with them.
What do you think makes a successful marriage partnership?
Having mutual respect. And when we say love, right, I think the very simple definition is love says you before me. So there are a lot of things that just become much easier than people think when you truly love, when you truly have them in mind first.
But also that like, I love you, but do I like you today? and I continue to like him.
Both successful in their own right. Diane is an actress, singer, and Juno nominee.
Silent night, holy night.
A true performer, she takes to the stage singing gospel, soul, R&B, jazz, and of course, her holiday favorites.
All is bright.
Michael joined the National Football League in 1987 and the Toronto Argonauts in 1989 and was nicknamed Pinball because of his running style.
Bob Obilovich was our coach at the time. He said that we have this new guy that bounces around like a pinball, and it stuck.
He had an outstanding football career and went on to win the Grey Cup in 91, 96, and 97 with the Argos.
The last time I was here, the Argos won the Grey Cup. And here we are again, another big championship. So I am your good luck charm.
Yes, you are.
Do you miss the game? Do you miss playing?
Do I miss playing the game? No.
I miss him playing the game.
Yes, so, and you know, I think there's a part of me that could be there if I wasn't in the role that I was in.
In 2019, this Canadian Football Hall of Famer was named the 20th General Manager of the Toronto Argonauts.
Part of my job is to bring the best out of them. I'm here because I love it. What's the word? What's the word? What's the word? Being able to help them, all the things that they are dealing with, some on the field and then there's some off the field.
Always set the tone.
And in many ways, what has happened here is more important than what happened when I played.
Together, the Clemens are strong in their faith, their family life, and community. Yet their lives, like many of us, comes with many challenges and struggles before triumphs.
Why is it important to share your journeys with others?
My mom used to say, remember there's always someone else who's worse off than you are. So when I go through something, when I experience struggles, and trust me, my family has, we've had our share, I think it's important to speak on it because you never know whose life you're going to touch. Because we're just two people that grew up without much.
Which is why Michael and Diane are grateful to be given a platform to help others. In 2007, they co-founded the Pinball Clemens Foundation, working hard to improve literacy in communities where families face multiple barriers. The foundation provides mentorship for youth along with educational resources. But the ultimate goal is seeing youth enter the workforce in careers they've dreamed of.
It really is about the wonderful people who commit themselves to this on a daily basis and the young people who deserve the opportunity.
A major fundraiser for the foundation is the annual Christmas with the Clemens. From timeless carols to soulful renditions of holiday classics, this heartwarming concert every December features musical and artistic performances.
Music just has a way of bringing everybody together.
So how important is music at this time of year to the family?
I think all my girls love Christmas music. He loves Christmas music, I think probably the most.
Yes.
And so it's always going in this house. So Susan, I want to welcome you to my piano room.
I love it in here.
Thank you. And let me intro you to my good friend and longtime keyboardist, Mr. Dwight Dawes.
Hey,
on the
Dwight.
piano today. And we just want to have a little fun right now. We're going to sing a jazz tune for you, if that's okay. Okay, let's do it. Pack up all my care and woe. Here I go, feeling low. Bye, bye, blackbird. Well, somebody waits for me. Sugar is sweet, so is she, blackbird. Bye, bye.
What about a favorite Christmas song? Do you guys have a favorite holiday, New Year?
Yeah, well, you know, Joy to the World is always one of the favorites, right? So why don't we do a little bit of that? Okay, let's do it. Joy to the world, the Lord has come. Let earth receive her King.
just ahead. Some final thoughts and wishes for the new year.
Woohoo! Yes!
So here we are, ready to go.
This looks amazing.
Now that as an appetizer to me is special. And for a frozen scallop, if you manage them correctly.
Beautiful. Well, sir, do you have a wish for 2025?
Yes, health and happiness. Health is the most important thing.
Here's to new beginnings.
Absolutely. Pleasure. Pleasure.
Until next year.
Great having you at the cottage.
And that brings us to the end of our show. We hope you enjoyed this special half hour filled with delicious food, music, design inspiration, and a whole lot of fun. I couldn't think of a better way to kick off the new year. So from all of us here at Global News, wishing you and yours a safe, healthy, and happy new year. Good night, everybody.